Gentlemen, wow, that was one of the most insane hard points we've had this year. For the Evil Geniuses players, they are literally going to be having nightmares on London docks tonight. They had a 100-point advantage over Splice through the game. 100-point advantage here now over eUnited, throw the game. Don't get me wrong, Splice and eUnited clutched the hell up, but you have a 100-point lead on docks. You can't lose that.
Did they lose it to Epsilon too? Because they had to have played that in series. Like, is that like, are they losing to everyone on London docks? I mean, that's okay. That is one of the most catastrophic chokes, because EG was in the best spot to make playoffs at the start of the week. Then they lose to Epsilon. That basically shoots yourself in the foot. Then they lose to eUnited in horrendous fashion. So yeah, EG, that is as brutal as it gets. So good luck with that. Now they might get relegated too.
I'll be honest though, that was fun. We were in the back. Chance and I were sitting next to each other, like on our feet, screaming. It was incredible. But I know we talked a lot about the game 4. We'll get back to it. Let's start at the beginning of the series. It's game 1 on Hardpoint Gibraltar that kicks things off, Joe.
Yeah, it definitely does. And EG, they have a great start. They go out to our early lead. Everybody playing extremely well. And this is a map, I feel like, Gibraltar, where it kind of helps the playstyles of EG a good amount when you're able to get guys like Apathy pushed out. You have, solid ARs and Nameless and Ace. But yeah, they just have control early on, and they don't lose that lead.
This was a wild one, but you had a great performance out of Ace, out of Enable. On the other side of things, if I remember correctly, Chance, we were talking in the back, like, Silly that started out really, really poorly early in the game. He was like double, near triple negative, then finally started to pick it up, unfortunately a little too late.
Yeah, it was wild. It's like someone called in a fighter pilot for eUnited, and you're like, wait, who got the streaks?
Yeah,
like, guy that was double negative pulled it off. So he did have a massive turnaround at some point during that game. Unfortunately for them, it's like too little too late. EG, what was it? Ace played like a monster. Apathy's getting streaks. Nameless had some streaks. Like, collectively as a team, EG on that map absolutely just played it better. Not much more you can say.
Well, let's move forward in the series. Let's take a look now at the map 2. Search and Destroy. For the London Docks S&D, we've seen these two teams play this a lot over the past couple of weeks. Joe, for you, was there anything that really stood out?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, there was a lot of great rounds from both sides, but eUnited, I mean, they're able to take it to a round 11. You're thinking finally EG's going to pull away with it. Enable has a great Search and Destroy. But then it just gets to that point where, once again, it sort of haunts EG. You get to that round 11, that 1v1 between Enable and Clay.
Yeah, what more could you want, Chance, than a 1v1 between the former teammates that were bumping heads after the stuff with FaZe went down? You and I were back there, we're like, it's Enable, it's Clay. We were like giddy. I felt like a little kid. It was awesome.
Okay, admittedly, Enable was in a much more difficult situation, but like at the same time, if you're eUnited, like who do you want that player to be in those clutch situations? You get Clay. He doesn't choke. That was the trash talk. He's like, I'm not going to choke. Like, that's all you guys. And he was right. Like, he just was. They did choke it away. He clutched up every time. We'll get to capture the flag. But the kills he had in capture the flag were the clutches kills you get, like, insane stuff from him. The clutch with 1v1 is huge. It gets them back in the series. If they had gone down 2-0 to EG, you got to imagine that would just be their series. That's tough to come back.
Think about it. He had a 1v1 there to decide the game. We're going to look at the CTF now, but it's a 1v1 against Aches, I believe, in Ruins. That kind of ultimately closes the game. But if I remember correctly, it's 0-0 through the opening 10 minutes of this game. Joe, why do you think no one could kind of find an opening early in this?
Kind of, to me, felt like both teams were trying not to lose, like trying their hardest, right? They're playing very defensive. They're just making sure nobody's sneaking in their base. There was a couple of times Pristini hit some pretty solid positions, but somebody checks the corner. But then, you have this play at the end where Clayster, he gives this kill up, allows their team to earn some streaks. You're thinking eUnited, this is great. But on the other side, we're going to flip. EG, they get that flag up. Clay's able to streak. I got a little worried, though. We talk about, Clay won that 1v1 at Ruins. The player that spawned up Arcides, he left him there, right? He took that risk. If Aches gets that, he loses that gunfight, and then things go wrong in their base, EG could have won that game. But Clayster clutches up because Arcides took the risk. He goes back home to his flag, helps them defend that. It was just like a huge risk, but it paid off for him.
It was a nutty CTF. The entire series was nutty, and like Apathy, who was beaming that map, had like the 2.12.
He was 29 and 10 at one point.
He wasn't losing gunfights, but they're also playing really safe. There's a couple times he's getting close to streaks, and they get like 3 down. They're even close to the flag, but like they didn't care. They're like, I want the streaks. I don't want to go for the flag. So I think they had a lot of wasted opportunities, EG, just for how slow they were playing. It's like Apathy can't play that well and have your team lose. It can't happen, but it did. So,
well, they had a chance to extend the series in the map 4. At one point in this, They're up 100. This is, I think you put this in maybe the top 5 hard points this year. I mean, this was just
this year
crazy.
all time, maybe.
Yeah, it was nuts, man. Just absolutely a battle. I want to see how high the lead actually got to. Okay, so it kind of skipped through around.
It broke.
No.
It was around 100.
It was 208, I think, to 100ish, I believe, right at 117, somewhere in that ballpark. But
the big thing for me for EG was just the streak usage. I thought it was horrible. I looked up, I looked down, and there's an artillery called in the back of Main Street when they don't have control. I mean, that's one where even on a hill like this, you can just lock down one side. Or on that lower docks, like I just felt like the streaks, they didn't get any advantage from them. They had a couple of fighter pilots, they had a couple of glide bombs. But eUnited just kept chipping away at the lead, just kept chipping away. And, I mean, I don't know, man.
Think about, like, you have what, the monster game from Apathy in Game 3, you can't get the victory. You have 47 from Nameless in Game 4, you can't get the victory. How did EG fall apart there?
I don't know. It's a good question because, like, they could have won on Main Street Hill, and then they lose the rotation battle to Warehouse Docks, but then Nameless picks up 2, but then it's contested for the entire time, but they could have won it on that hill as well, and eUnited was down by a substantial margin by the time Street came around, but they clutched up on that hill, they clutched up on Warehouse, then you go into Barrels, and again, there was an opportunity where, like, 4 players for eUnited all spawn in the back, EG's in full control, and then they're just like, we won a lot of gunfights, but, like, not now. I know these are the important ones, but these are the ones that are going to fall apart. And eUnited, it's not even like they're wiping him out. It's just like the one guy clutches up, then the next guy, and they stay alive, and they contest. And finally, like, it was insane. There was a solid 3 hills that EG could have won on, and eUnited literally wins on the only one they ever had an opportunity to.
A wild hardpoint, a crazy series, and a must-win there for eUnited as their dreams stay alive. But let's take a look.